and welcome back to Cait Straight Up. This weekend on the beach, I found myself very involved in July's issue of Southern Living's Country Music's Greatest Eats. That's when I got to Miranda Lambert's section about her mama's meatloaf, and ever since then, that's all I've been thinking about. So I thought, what cooler way than showing some love for Miranda? We love her, she's talented, she rocks it, she's an amazing woman, than to make her meatloaf here on Cait Straight Up. So Miranda Lambert, in honor of you, we're making a meatloaf today. Let's get right into it. We're gonna start mixing all of our ingredients together in this bowl for our actual loaf. Then we're gonna move on to our awesome sauce to smother on top. In this bowl, we have a mixture of ground veal, ground pork, and ground beef. The three of them together are delicious and make the best meatloaf. We're then gonna add 1 whole egg to our beef, veal, and pork mixture. Then we're gonna add 1 whole chopped Vidalia onion right in on top there, because we're gonna have to get down and dirty and mix this all up. Half a cup of buttermilk right over the top. A salt and pepper mix to your liking. And 1 cup of panko breadcrumbs with garlic powder and parsley. I already mixed that all together in this mix, so we're just gonna sprinkle it over top here. The last and final ingredient is about 2 tablespoons of a Marsala. Now I'm gonna just eye it here, but it's about 2 tablespoons depending on how much meat you have. So we're just gonna add a little bit over the top. I'm gonna start to mix this all together with a wooden spoon, but I find with a meatloaf, the best way to get all your ingredients to combine is to get right in there, roll up your sleeves, and mix it all together with your hands. So we got started on our mixing with a spoon, and it's about that time. We gotta roll up our sleeves and dig in with our hands. So here we go. Alright, so you're just gonna knead it in like this, all your ingredients. Don't think about it too much, it's not that bad. Just get everything in here. Now, if you start to notice that you need to add another egg or some more breadcrumbs or any of your ingredients, that's fine. Sometimes you have more meat or less meat. Anything that you need to form it into a nice solid bread loaf, just feel free to add as you're going. It should start taking shape. That's when you know that it's ready to go. Another important thing to keep in mind is that you're touching raw meat. So if you have to touch anything else in your kitchen, make sure to wash your hands really, really good before you do so. You don't want to spread bacteria. Thankfully, I had a helper lay out my pan right in front of me, and we're going to go ahead and spread out our loaf right along the pan here. You definitely can use a different type of pan, but I find that the best meatloaves are just flat out on a tray. So we're nice and mixed here, we're looking good, and we're just gonna plop this big hunk of meat right down here and start to form a loaf. You could do it right with your hands. If we have the perfect amount of egg and breadcrumbs in our ingredients, it should form nicely. You don't want it to be too fat, because then it will take way too long to cook, so keep that in mind. You do want it to be more close to the pan, then you don't need a loaf way up here. So go ahead, flatten it out, and start to build its shape. So I went ahead and set my loaf off to the side, and I'm going to start whisking together my sauce to smother all on top there. We're going to do that about 1 to 3 times during cooking, a light layer initially, maybe once again during halfway through, and then right before we take it out of the oven. We're going to start with about 1.5 cups of ketchup. Your regular Heinz ketchup is fine. And we're going to pour in about maybe a couple tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. We're then going to add 1/4 cup of brown sugar, and this is some Chipotle chili powder. We're just going to sprinkle a little bit of this across the top just to give it an extra kick. You'll love it, I promise. So then we're going to just whisk this all together. Don't be afraid to really dig in there. In. Woo! That actually smells good already. Gotta get some muscle in it. All right, I think we're ready. This is the coloring that we're looking for here. A nice, deep, rusty brown. We don't want it too red. That means we didn't add enough of our brown sugar in our chipotle. All you're gonna do after that is spread a nice thin layer right over top and pop it in your oven. So we're gonna go nice and quickly across the top like this. Get the middle a little bit, there we go. And then we're gonna spread them out just like that. So we're spreading it all good here. We're making sure it's nice and even. Everything's covered. Miranda, I know it's not your mama's, but I think it's gonna be pretty tasty. I know it's gonna be tasty. And once you have a nice even layer, you're gonna pop it in a 350-degree oven for anywhere between 40 minutes to an hour, depending on how thick you made your loaf. The important thing is that it has to reach an internal temperature of 160 degrees. Remember guys, we're gonna go ahead and re-sauce twice throughout cooking, and I'm gonna go ahead, pop this in the oven, and I'll see you when it's done. It's been about an hour and this meatloaf looks fantastic and it smells even better. Ever since I read that article in Southern Living magazine about Miranda's mama's meatloaf, I have been craving it for myself and I can't wait to dig in. If you have any questions about my recipe, please make sure to comment below or tweet at me at @CaitStraightUp. Make sure you tell me what you think about this recipe as well as any other requests that you might have for the channel. And hey, Miranda Lambert, we're sending you some love here from Cait Straight Up through Meatloaf, I guess. I love your music. You rock. I'm always dancing to you on a Friday and Saturday night. And any other questions, tweet and comment. Till next time, guys. Bye-bye.